morning, YouTube family. It's so great to be with you guys again. We got a lot of things to cover today, and I have a special guest with us. I'm sure you all are going to like him. None other than the legend, Ralph Cooper, Hall of Fame sportscaster here in Houston, Texas. And so what we're going to do before we get that started is I'm going to ask you guys, as I always do, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe button, smash that bell so you can be notified. And at the bottom of the page, write a comment on what you think about today's show, the topics and things that we covered. Do you agree or disagree? And let us know. Keep me on the right path, because that's what I want to do. I want to get better as we do more shows. So what we're going to do here is, before we bring Mr. Cooper in, we're going to cover a few items, and he's going to cover some with me. So what I'm going to do now is start off with the news that everybody is talking about right now, definitely the HBCUs. As you know, this program is kind of tailor-made to HBCUs. We cover the gamut on all sports, but we cover HBCUs, the MEAC, the SWAC, CIAA, SIAC, and so we got a lot of news to talk about on both of these. We're going to start off with Coach Prime has just announced over the past week that he is going to terminate his services at Jackson State and go to Colorado State. I want to give a shout out to my sponsors, Rose Gold Lux Spa, Womack Development Company and Realtor, and Morgan and Associates Dental. I know that there are many people out in the listening audience that has an opinion on this. I have one myself, and we're going to see if Mr. Cooper has one. And with that, we're going to bring him in with this. It's good to talk to you today, Ralph. How you been doing?
Been doing good. Great to be on your show. And I'm wearing these dark shades, but they're prescribed because I don't have my other glasses with me. So I don't want people to think I'm coming in trying to be like Ray Charles or Jamie Foxx or somebody current. I'm just Ralph.
Okay. We have not had anything to break,
No,
so we're not trying to hide any red eyes, anything of that nature.
Right.
Mr. Cooper's glasses are in the shop being repaired, and these are the ones that he can see out of, and I told him, go ahead and put them on.
Right.
Put the glasses on. What do you think about Coach Prime going to Colorado? Let's start it off with that.
Well, I think, first of all, a man has to do what he feels is right for himself and his family. Mm-hmm. Coach Prime came into Jackson and said he was coming under the guidance of God. And, you know, when you start talking God talk to people, they think about heaven, right? Which means longevity, right? They think you're going to be there forever, waiting to get to where? To heaven. So people, some people look at it a little bit differently. I think he did a great job at Jackson State, of course. They're undefeated going into this big into the championship game of HBCUs. They've never been undefeated before. And in 3 seasons there now, a lot of attention has come to the program. A lot of attention has come to the SWAC. They've gotten big TV contracts thanks to Coach Prime being there. The city, I read this thing where the mayor of Jackson, TSU, Texas Southern University product, complimented Deion. Thanked him for what he did in regards to not just Jackson State University, but Jackson, Mississippi. Now the thing now is, where do they go from here? Moses got you to the promised land. Farrakhan got you to the Million Man March.
Right.
Now what are you going to do after the Million Man March? After you got to the mountain top or whatever, and now that Deion, Coach Prime has gotten you to this point, what are you going to do next? Are you going to sit around and cry and slobber and moan because he's leaving to go to Colorado, University of Colorado? Or you going to step up to the plate and pick up the baton and continue to go up? So it's on the SWAC.
Yeah. Well, what you're doing, Ralph, is mimicking what I've said since Coach Prime came on the scene. That is quit hating. I mean, he's throwing shine on the whole SWAC. Basically, he was throwing shine on all the HBCUs.
Right.
And so, as you said, take advantage of it.
Right.
He knows how to work the social media, and it's nobody else's fault if after 3 years Coach Prime been working at social media the way he's working it, and you haven't learned to get on it. That's not his fault. That's your fault.
Right.
Yeah, that's your fault. And I don't see why these coaches aren't picking up on that, because that's where the kids are, right?
Well,
What do you think about that?
Well, you've got a lot of people. We celebrate the past. We know the past, but now how are you going to use the past to go forward? Now, to me, the quickest way to go forward in regards to getting information out about the past is what you just hit on, social media. How can you be a coach these days, in any kind of deal where you're dealing with the public, and not be on social media? I was reluctant at first, but it was young people who taught me the social media and the importance of it and how it was changing. It would change things. So, plus you have to look at this. Who did Dion hire to do his social media?
His son does all of that.
Right. He's getting paid, right?
Getting paid. Right. And gonna get really paid once he go to Colorado.
Right. He's got paid. Yeah. So you know, and the conference is under Dr. Charles McCollum.
Right.
They have a strong social media department also, thanks to Andrew Roberts, who came from Texas Southern and went with Dr. McCollum up to Birmingham, Alabama. A young guy who's doing a good job also. So, and then you've got several good young people over at Texas Southern. Isaiah Thornton, who was an intern of mine, but he was. I ended up being his intern.
Right, I met him.
Because of social media, I ended up being the intern.
Because he showed you.
Right, so I ended up being the intern.
A lot of things that I do here, because it has a flavor of TSU on it. He's the gentleman that I'll contact with, and he'll get me on the page, TSU Athletic page, so people can see what I'm doing over here, trying to help the program and getting them out, and getting people to come and talk and so forth, like the coaches, Coach McKinney, Coach Jones, and you cannot be without social media and want to succeed. And it's not just a black thing, Ralph. Major white D5 schools realize that now, and they have someone, and actually where Prime has his son, they probably got a conglomerate of people at Michigan, at USC, and this type of thing. Colorado.
Yes. So I'm just waiting to see what the SWAC is going to do. I saw the schedule of Grambling the other day. They've got a game at the MetLife in New York. They're going in September now. Yes, this is in September. They're going to play Hampton in the MetLife. They're going to play Grambling. Will play Prairie View in the Cotton Bowl. And then they've got LSU at LSU, all in September. So, I mean, people are coming out with their schedules and they're trying to move forward. I've heard rumors about who's going to coach Jackson State, but he can't be another Dion. Don't expect him to be another. Look for him to be whoever he is.
Thank you. I hope the people give him time and they don't. Dion had his own personality, which I love.
Right.
You go on social media and you'll see, you hear Mystical coming on in the locker room.
Right.
Here I go. And you got the players fired up. That was his thing.
Right.
And actually, and you speaking about who the coach is going to be, I think Jackson State, as I looked on HBC game day, T.C. Taylor is predicted to become the head coach at Jackson State. He was the receiver coach, and he was the only coach that Dion kept from the previous coach. Previous regime. He's the only one, and he's recognized him from day one, and he's also suggested to the athletic Robinson that T.C. Taylor should be the next guy.
Right, but now he demoted him at one time.
Did he?
Yeah, at one time during the season he demoted him, but he recommended him to be the head coach. People change their mind all the time.
Yes.
So, but you've had a number of people who would like to have that job. So that was a good sign that there were other people who wanted that job and applied for it. I wish him the best of luck. Many people don't feel he's the best guy for the job, but like you said, he was there before. He's been there. He knows the history of Jackson State, and that's important there also.
Yeah. I think with him having experience how Dion did it, I don't think he's going to copycat Dion, but he's going to try to get as close as he can to the things that Dion was doing before he left.
Right. And see, the other thing is these presidents of these universities, they need to step up to the plate. There was no reason for Dion. The word is Dion had to come out of his pocket to feed players.
Right.
That shouldn't happen.
No.
I mean, they're making enough money now. If the money is utilized properly, they shouldn't have to do that type of thing.
And another rumor was that Dion wasn't getting paid the percentage per his contract due to the attendance at the game.
Right, he had a clause in his contract when he hit 30,000, he
Right.
was supposed to get a certain amount of money. They were lucky back in the day. Reggie Jackson had a contract similar, where I think when he went to Baltimore or the California Angels or one of Baltimore, that when the attendance hit a certain number, he got $1 for every ticket they sold.
That's ingenious on his agent or him.
Right, he got $1.
I wouldn't put it past Prime, knowing that what his power and strength is, that he probably put that in the door. Hey,
right.
You need to put in there that they already do 30,000. They
right.
need the FCS.
Yeah, right.
But when we start doing 50, I want a little piece of that. That'll help subsidize what I'm not getting in my pay.
Right.
Speaking of that, let's go to Coach Dancy.
Yes.
Coach Dancy at Mississippi Valley.
Yeah.
Okay, he's joining Coach Prime,
Right.
and heard a few things about not only is he leaving, but now he's taking the HBCU coaches. No, he's not.
Right.
Coach Dancy, I heard him explain it on TV, saying that, look, this is a wonderful opportunity for me and my family
Right.
to go to the next level.
Right, and see, if you recall, before last season started, one of the greats of Mississippi Valley, quarterback Willie Totten, who was on the staff of Dancy, who had been head coach at one time. He left to go to a school in Minnesota.
Right.
So now Coach Prime understood what Coach Dancy was experiencing at Mississippi Valley, also in regards to the field, facilities, etc. Now he also realized his potential.
Right.
And many people thought he should be the next coach at Jackson State.
I think that might have been what the general consensus was if he hadn't have gone to. But I'm thinking he's feeling like they're not going to pay me what they were paying Dion.
No. Plus, he gets a chance now to really elevate himself, because Dion has 2 or 3 former head coaches at major universities as part of his staff at the University of Colorado. Willie Taggart is there. And then he got a coach from the University of Alabama who's there also.
Oh yes,
So he surrounded himself with smart people.
Right, he's got smart people, and I feel like Dancy hit the nail on the head. This is a wonderful opportunity for me and my family to advance.
Right.
And not only at Colorado, as Dion told him, you get here, Dancy, we become successful. This is how it works. The assistant coaches then get seen. Who knows? You could be at a Power 5 school coaching.
Right.
Because Dancy, I don't know if you saw my program from last year before the season started. I told people to look out for Mississippi Valley,
Right.
because Dancy did a great job with that. They may not have won but 3 or 4 games, but
Right.
you have to take into account what he's working with. Deion Sanders went, as you said, to see their practice facilities, family.
Yeah.
And Deion Sanders, he's the coach at another school, and he told Dancy, whoa, wait a minute, man.
We gotta help you.
We got to help you, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
But you know the other thing, Larry, you notice all this starts in the South.
Right.
I always thought, and my prediction did become true, I didn't think that Dion or Coach Prime would get hired by a major white university in the South. And I thought maybe it would be the West, but I didn't think it would be Colorado. But I thought it may be the West or somewhere up north. But it started with a black school taking a chance with him.
Right.
And giving him this opportunity. He took advantage of it, like most of the time we always do.
Right.
The black guy always comes through. Always bet black. A lot of people don't want to bet on the black guy.
No, you always bet black.
Always bet black. We may not have the resources you have or whatever, but always bet black. And look at what Dion has turned. He turned the Jackson State job, and he parlayed it. They helped him get a degree.
Right.
He comes back and helps them get their first undefeated season, boost the economy in Jackson, Mississippi, all over Mississippi.
Yeah.
And it also boosted the enrollment. If you look now, you'll see a number of youngsters from the Houston area who are at Jackson State because of what he was doing.
Oh, yes.
So, it was a win-win-win thing. But it started in the South.
The city of Jackson, and that young mayor understands that Dion probably bought in about $30 million in over a 2-year period of time, if not more.
Right.
If not more.
Right.
You look at ESPN Game Day.
Right.
Never been to a black campus.
No, to this year.
To this
This
year.
year, yeah.
Never went to, and it was a wonderful experience. And I predict they're going to go to another one after going
yeah.
to Jackson
Right.
State and seeing what was going on.
Right, they'll pick out another
Oh,
one.
they'll pick out another one because they had a great time.
Right, right.
And now, so speaking about, we're still on Dion. We're going to get off here in just a moment. But he's taken Dennis Thurman, Jackson State defensive coordinator, to Colorado with him. He's taken Brent Bartoloni, the offensive coordinator, with him. He's taken a guy that's been the linebacker coach that came from the Dallas High School with him. I can't think of his name right now.
Right.
And the linebacker coach, another gentleman. So I think there are three or two guys that came with him from Dallas going to still be with him. And then he's bringing everybody from there. And he's not just doing that just as a favor to them. He's doing that because they got the job done for him at Jackson State.
Right, right.
The guy was telling me, well, they guys may not be in a position adequate to coach. And I said, Dennis Thurman already been at a Power 5 school before.
Right.
This guy, Brent Bartoloni, has already been at a Power 5 school. So he's got a nice coaching staff.
Right.
You agree?
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. And the other thing that they have at the University of Colorado, they have, when I think of Colorado, I think of the Houstonians who helped put that program on.
J.B. Kane.
Yeah, J.B. Kane out of Booker T. Washington, the Hall of Famer now, Clifford Branch out of Worthing. You have Alfred Williams, who came out of Jones High School. He's a broadcaster over there. He does radio over there.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Now, there was another defensive end. They were both sack masters. So he's from Houston, too. One was from...
I forgot.
I can't think of his name either.
But Alfred Williams, one of them. Then you have Canavis McGee.
That was him.
Yeah, Canavis McGee out of Wheatley High School.
Yeah, that was him.
In the Houston area.
Yeah.
And, these guys helped. And Chris Hudson, another Worthingite, played defensive back. They all helped make Colorado a household name in regards to collegiate football in the past. And it's going to be interesting to see all this tied into the future.
For sure. Family, I want you to, right at the bottom of this page, give me your comments on what you think Dion is going to do and what he can accomplish at the University of Colorado.
Have you looked at this schedule? When you get a chance, look at this. It's a tough schedule. But hey,
that's
why he's going.
That's why he's going.
You said it earlier. Look at the staff.
Yeah. He walked into that. I just loved it. And you had people initially, you're going to always have someone don't understand, talking about how could he dare go in there and tell these guys to get on the portal. That wasn't what he was saying.
Right.
He's trying to weed out the ones that already
don't want to pay the price.
Don't want to pay the price.
Right.
He said, evidently you haven't done it already. How many games y'all win? He always turned to the system. How many games they win? He said, one. He said, I don't need that.
No.
I don't need that. I need some dogs. That's what he told me. I need some dogs.
Right. And again, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there because, you've got they're selling season tickets. They're already making money.
They're making money already.
Yeah. So.
Making our money already. He walked into the basketball game and the crowd exploded.
Right.
For Dion. Started chanting his name.
Right.
And one of the white reporters there was saying, this has never happened at the University of Colorado.
Right.
Never happened.
Right.
So I got great expectations. I love Dion. I love it. Okay, moving on. We're going to stay kind of like in that mix, but Kevin Durant just donated $1 million to Bowie State in Maryland. What a great act on Kevin Durant and his foundation part. He said that that's going to go toward Bowie State Athletic Department, helping renovate the gym and other athletic facilities. Because Bowie State, if you've listened to my podcast last year, Bowie State, Ralph, for the last 3 years have gone deep into Division II.
Playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs.
Right.
They gone deep into Division II. They didn't go this year because they lost their coach.
Right.
They lost their coach. And so they didn't go this year, but Bowie State is going to get a pretty good amount of money from Kevin Durant. Charles Barkley, once again, is going to donate $1 million to Bethune-Cookman and Jackson State. Now, let me stop it for a minute. I know at TSU, we try to do things, but we got to stop trying because other schools are showing that it can be done. Jackson State not only is getting $1 million from Barkley, we're not going to talk about the $1 million Under Armour just donated to them.
Right.
And then you got Delta Airlines or American Airlines. One of them is a big donator to Jackson State University, and it's the prime effect. But once again, while Dion is getting these things done for Jackson State, we need to, not just TSU, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, Mississippi Valley, all of them need to be trying to get piggyback off of it. What you think, Ralph?
Well, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly, and it's great to see them giving back. But now I go back to another key thing. In the past, many times when these schools get those type of, maybe not those amounts of money, but when they get donations like that and they're supposed to go to the athletic department, they don't go.
I hear you.
These presidents, in my opinion, have to, and administrators at these universities have to make sure that these funds that are earmarked for athletics go to athletics.
Go to athletics.
Yeah,
they want to put it into the general fund, which is no problem, but the majority of it should go to the athletic because that's why they gave it.
They're earmarking, they're giving the money to the athletic department. If you want them to give to some other department, ask them
for that.
Yeah, let them know you would like to give some to another department, but let them be in on the fact that you're going to do that.
Right.
Instead of you just making the decision, this money is going to go over here, and this part of the money is going to go over here. Yeah. Instead of all of it going to athletics.
Barkley had an opportunity to go with Reggie Theus, who is the head coach, basketball coach at Bethune-Cookman. They played against each other, and Reggie is so grateful for what he did, but then he made a statement like, but he saw what I'm working with.
Right. That's what
he saw what I'm working with. He came and saw, just like Dion went to Valley and said, look, I'm your opposing coach, but I'm getting ready to help you.
Well, Shaquille O'Neal was on the TSU campus the other day, and his son plays basketball there. Now, it's going to be interesting to see if he steps up later on and does something. But the fact that his son is there is interesting and could lead to some other things. But you've got, if you need money, you've got to ask for it. You can't be afraid to ask for money. You need some money.
Yeah.
Ask. The only thing they can do is like buying a car, selling a car. Yeah. You're going to get a yes or no. No. So you may get what you want if you ask.
Right. And you know,
especially people who have it.
You said it so well, and that is that you tried to say it nicely for TSU. Now, Shaq was on campus. I'm just going to wait and see what TSU... No. Yeah. Shaq is on campus. TSU had no problem not to full court press yet.
I invite him back over.
Invite him again,
right.
and again, and again. We got a big game with Prairie View. I want to make sure you here.
Right.
When Prairie View come to town, I want to make sure you here when Grambling comes to town.
Right.
But ask them.
Right. You gotta ask.
You might not get $1 million. He might give you a half. Right. He might give you 100,000.
Right. Or you may get more.
You may get more if you ask, but you gotta ask.
Right. Right, I agree with you.
You gotta ask. Okay, and then you got the Celebration Bowl, which is going to pit the MEAC champion, which is North Carolina Central, against Jackson State. Ralph, I want you to give me your honest opinion. I was talking to my cousin, and we were talking. There's no way that the team can be focused to play North Carolina Central. And you know North Carolina Central, which has a good team, 9-2,
right,
is waiting on Jackson.
Right.
But I think if Dion can pull this off, man, he is a hell of a coach.
Right, because you look at what happened last year. So you had a situation somewhat similar when Coach Eric Dooley was leaving Prairie View to go to Southern, but his team was in that Celebration Bowl, and in the championship game against Jackson, and lost. And Jackson went to the championship game. So now you have Jackson with Dion leaving to go to Colorado in the championship game against a coach and a staff that seemingly knows what they're doing. You said the record was 9-2.
9-2.
That's Coach Oliver over there.
Yes, sir. Trey Oliver.
And he is no stranger to winning football games.
Right.
And they know the importance. And the MEAC has dominated the SWAC in this game.
Yeah, it's like...
if Coach Prime and his staff can pull this off with all the things they've been through, you're looking on paper, they have the better team.
Right.
But, again, I go back.
They had the better team last year.
Yeah, most people had never heard of Coach Buddy Pugh. They saw him and say, oh, man, that's a big slob. He can't coach. You know, they look just going by. Right. People are looking at him and say, hey, man, the man can coach.
Right.
Now you got Trey Oliver coming in, who can coach. And he's looking, hey, they know that Coach Prime and Jackson State has gotten all the publicity. Nobody's talking about North Carolina Central.
Right.
but they're all talking about Jackson State and what they're going to do to them.
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, it's going to be a hell of a game. And guess what? I'm picking North Carolina Central.
You pick. I want Jackson State to win, but that's what I just told you. And my statement was, I don't see how Jackson State is going to be able to win that game. But if Coach Prime can pull this off
and go 13-0.
My thing is that if he can go to Colorado twice, I mean, he not only went to announce, he came back and went back to do some recruiting. Right. And then if he can come back to Jackson State and get these guys focused
and win.
Oh my God, the sky's the limit for them.
Right. Well, he believes he compares it to when he played baseball and football at the same time. Remember the helicopter trip?
Right.
Okay. He said, I can do both.
And he hit a home run. Home run and ran a punt back. Ran a punt back. All right, we're moving on. We got 4 new openers that's going to be in the SWAC. And I just reported earlier that I think, per reports coming out of Jackson State, that Coach T.C. Taylor is going to be the coach there, so it may be only 3 openings, but you got an opening at Mississippi Valley State, Bethune-Cookman, and UAPB. Do you think that these schools are going to try to get the big name hired like Jackson State did and Alabama State did, and Tennessee State try to go ex-NFL player?
Well, they're probably going to interview them. I'm told that there are several NFL greats, former greats, Hall of Famers that are looking for jobs, but those jobs are not as lucrative as, say, what's happening at Alabama State with Eddie Robinson, the facilities they have there, Bubba McDowell up at Prairie View, and what Coach Prime had in.
You're absolutely right.
Jackson.
Because
I'm talking about smaller schools.
Right.
So. But you have you mentioned Reggie Theus. If I was betting on one, I would bet on maybe Bethune-Cookman maybe doing that.
Right.
Maybe making that type of hire because of their history and the fact that they're in Florida.
Right.
And you already have an example of a pro who's coaching there who has some help coming from another pro in regards to finances. So but Bethune-Cookman's enrollment is down also.
Yeah.
But if you get the right person in there,
it'll go up.
You have people like Ed Reed, Ray Lewis. Those are
I heard Ray Lewis is thinking about he has sent his name out to try to go into the HBCU.
Yeah, those names keep popping up.
I heard his name come up. And Ray Lewis, good God, and you're not gonna play for him unless you fired up. You got to have some energy. You're gonna play for Ray Lewis because he was a ball of energy.
Right.
Yeah. So we got those 4 new openings. We got the Celebration Bowl going down on December the 17th. As Ralph said, North Carolina Central 9-2 playing Jackson.
Who you picking? You never did say who you picking.
Oh, I'm sure
I thought I wasn't listening to you.
What's that?
Who you pick? North Carolina Central, or are you going with Coach Prime and Jackson?
I'm gonna go with Coach Prime, but
you didn't say it earlier. You just ducked that question.
I'm gonna go with Coach Prime, but because I just got so much faith in him. But that's gonna be a hell of a job.
And it's hard. Believe me, it's hard to pick against him. But I listened to Coach Oliver the other day, and I thought about Buddy Pugh.
They've been getting ready for Jackson.
And then I thought about the MEAX record against the SWAC.
They've been getting ready for Jackson State. They're like, what you trying to plan on, Jackson? No, we ain't worried about Jackson State. We just gonna get us right. Get us right. Jackson State wasn't worried about us.
Right.
That's what's gonna happen there. Is that?
And see, you got hope. And I forgot Coach Hugh Jackson. The Grambling situation seems to be turning around, getting better also with him there.
Right.
Right.
Okay, we're going to leave the SWAC and the HBCUs. We're going to head off to another big topic. We got so many sports to talk about today, and we need to get it on because this gentleman is very busy and he got other things
also,
to do.
but we take time to be with you.
Okay. Appreciate that. Yeah. We're going to cover Brittney Griner.
Yes.
Okay. What's your deal on Brittney? What's your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I'm glad that President Biden and others who were working to get her out of Russia were able to get her out of Russia. Sometimes you go into these dictatorships, and if you don't know the laws, anything can happen to you. And in her case, you hated it when you found out I hated it when they found out they had moved her to another situation in regards to prison life there. And she spent nearly a year there.
Almost a year.
Yeah, and being a female, and I'm just glad they were able to get out of there because mentally people are strong, but you don't know how strong you can be in that type of situation, being held in another country, in a country that's at war, and your country is on the other side in the war, and you become a pawn in regards to the releasing of a convicted criminal from Russia. He got that was the pawn. You were the pawn. You ended up being the pawn.
Yeah.
So hopefully the youngsters coming behind her and others, even us older people, understand when you go off into these countries.
These third world countries, you're not in Texas where you get your lawyer, you get a call, and they come in to get you out, bail you out, no, that guy, what that guy says go.
Right.
Ain't no judge, is what he says go.
Right, and you got a former Marine.
I was going to address that.
Was there who's been held for 4 years now. Yeah. And many people thought he should have been released with her, but he's a spy. Remember, she was just there for
preach.
Yeah, she was just there for
drugs.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But he was there. He's convicted as a spy. So
totally different.
Totally different. And they want more of it. They didn't feel that it was proper to throw him in. I'm talking about the Russians.
Yeah.
With her in regards to releasing the agreement to release these people.
All you heard from the right or Republicans, not all Republicans, because let me clear that up. Not all Republicans are assholes. Excuse my French.
Right.
Not all Republicans are assholes, but so many of them, when they hear that, oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Even had an NFL player's wife chime in, and boy, they ate her up online. They like, what are you talking about? Right. You don't know what's going on. What about Trump in 16? From 16 to 2020, had 3 years to get Waylon out, and he didn't do it.
He didn't do it, right.
Yeah.
Right.
And his brother even stated yesterday or 2 days ago that he didn't even think Trump was interested in getting him out.
Right.
Because putting them as boys.
Yeah, I know they.
They boys.
Right.
Him and putting them, they boys.
Right.
And so if you so boys with putting them, why you couldn't get him out in 3 years?
Right.
And his brother said, I don't even think he wanted to try to get him out. Right. Where he got 5,000 Talibans and set them free.
Right. But but
you want to criticize Biden by getting her out. He was trying to get both of them, and what I read is that up until the end, he thought he had both of them out, then putting them to no, we ain't letting him go.
No. But and then many people say that there's no changes here. Mm-hmm. Now, there was a time, it's still hard for me to believe, you had a black female who's gay, released over a former Marine or a court-martial Marine who's white. I know some people don't want race in this, but for them to get her out of it, for her to come home first, is
an achievement.
Because there was a time she would have still been locked up, and the white guy would have been at home.
Ralph, you and I remember when it was colored and white waterfowl.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
My kids be like, what? It was a colored waterfowl. Yeah. It wasn't no black, no African American, none of that type. It was a colored.
Well, you talking to somebody got slapped because he wanted to see if the water was better on the white side.
What? No,
and he found out that the water was really better on the colored side. Well, back then your parents, your mother, because of the laws, had to make it look like you were being disciplined.
Right.
But when the slap came, it was like the palm of you're not supposed to do that. You're in a war.
And there were some white people around, so she was smart. Actually, your mom was smart.
You were in a Woolworth.
Yeah.
And you went right over, and you had been told, don't do that. Yeah. You know how you get programmed before you go downtown? Yeah. Don't go to that white fountain. Now, whatever you do, first thing you did was go to the white fountain.
Yeah. So Brittney Griner, I feel like Biden did what he could, and that I don't see why they holding that against him.
Well, people look for, you mentioned it earlier, Republicans, Democrats, they're going to be split, people are going to be split. They look for things to criticize people. They look for weaknesses to use in regards to the politics. Right. Hey, who would have thought Herschel Walker would only lose by 100,000 votes?
Yeah.
Herschel Walker
don't know what a pronoun is.
The only thing, and then think about this: only 3% of the blacks in Fulton County, I think it was.
Right.
Only 3% of the blacks in Fulton County voted for him. So if he got 8 or 9%, he may have won.
They didn't even want him representing them.
But in the rural areas, but some of them voted. They within 100,000 votes to win.
They don't.
Yeah.
Well, most of the Republicans, that's what they did. They tried, but it didn't work.
Right. But he, his boss put him there. He used to work for Donald Trump.
Oh yeah,
With the
USFL,
USFL.
New Jersey General.
Yeah,
New Jersey.
See, a lot of people don't know he worked in football.
That's why they love him. He gave him his first $5 million. He gave him his first $5 million. And what people don't understand, Donald Trump, being as rich as he was, wanted to get in the NFL, and they knew he was a gangster from day one. They like, no.
He won the lawsuit.
We don't even want you.
And for the sake of the listeners who don't know, he won a lawsuit against the NFL.
You know what he got awarded?
I'll let you tell him what
he got awarded $1. He got awarded $1.
They didn't want him.
They didn't want him in the NFL at all.
Right.
And now that you hear the things he's done and still doing, you know why? Because he would have lied about everything.
Right.
He would have lied about everything. He would have tried to corrupt the NFL.
Right.
He would have corrupted the NFL. Okay, moving on. Paul Silas, a great NBA veteran, dies, and also Paul Silas is the father of the Houston Rockets current coach, Stephen Silas. Great man.
Right. I remember being young, approaching him for an interview. Mm-hmm. This is in the 70s. So I approached. He was with Boston, and he was a very big man, and you didn't really realize how big he was. If you weigh 150 at that time, and you get up and this guy is 6'7", about chiseled, 220 to 30, and you ask him for an interview, and he look over at his teammates. He said, "Why you want to interview me?" That's John Havlicek. These were names: John Havlicek, JoJo White, and all these people were on that.
Cowens, all them. Dave Cowens.
Tommy Heinsohn was a player who was still playing. They were all over. They said, "Why you want to?" And I told them. I explained. I said, "I want to." I really became assertive. I said, "I want to interview you because people don't really know who you are, and you're an integral part of the team." He was like single digits,
right.
But he was
he was key part.
Yeah.
He did all the dirty work. He did the dirty work.
But I got the interview with him and everything. So that's what I always remember about how humble he was. Instead of being big and arrogant and demanding.
I thought he was good. I always followed him when he was with the Celtics. Then he went right over to Seattle and made them tough. Right. He was what Seattle was missing.
Right. He was a big rugged guy.
Yeah, they was missing that toughness. Once he got there, they won.
Right. That was a different NBA, the physical NBA we talking about.
Right. Okay, moving on. We got UT suspends their head basketball coach. And I think UT is number 3 or 4 in the nation. And I think, Ralph, with the climate, the way it is in the society, you can't do things like this. I just found out from Ralph off air that it was due to him choking a female. And these colleges right now and pro teams, Ralph, I think that you're almost guilty until you're proven innocent if you start doing this physical stuff on females. What do you think about that?
Right, and I'm told that they were in a relationship. Okay. He and the lady were in a relationship, and shared a home together. Mm-hmm. They've been together for a moment, I'm told. But then she makes a 911 call that he's manhandling her, doing some things to her, and now they've suspended him from the basketball team. I think for 4 games.
Were you shocked
that they suspended him?
Yes.
No,
but I was.
I'm gonna be shocked though if they bring him back with the way things are happening now. Yeah, because
you don't think he can come back? I'm thinking that there's just all the show.
Groups, if the women groups get involved, anything can happen. But I wouldn't be surprised if she decides to make it go away.
That's what I say.
Attempt to make it go away.
That's what I say, baby. You know I'm making $8 million a year. You getting ready to get this Black American Express card. It's gonna have.
You already got it.
Yeah, you already got it. It's gonna have $500,000 limit on it. So just do what you want to do.
Right, and I think he has 3 children by a woman he was married to before.
Right.
And I'm sure she's probably picked the phone up this morning.
Right.
What the devil's going on? Why you jeopardizing this money we get? You know what I'm saying? You got 3 kids.
Yeah. Because you got to still pay me.
And then if you're part of the staff, you got to wonder.
Right.
Think if they do decide to go in another direction and move on or whatever, you'll lose your job also, maybe.
Now, here's what happened. Now, it's strange that you should bring that up. I watched them last night on ESPN. They actually have a black assistant coach that took over the reins for him during that game.
Right.
I can't think of his name right now, but he took over the reins.
They've been doing some good things. They had a Jimmy Blacklock Day.
Okay.
Jimmy Blacklock out of Yates High School,
the
first black basketball player there. Mm-hmm. They had a night, this past weekend, they had a game in his honor at the University of Texas. So they're doing some good things, but like I said, when you are dealing with females now and you're going physical, anything can happen. You can be unemployed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my thought process is it's all a show that we're going to suspend them. But then when I saw suspend them without pay, I'm like, they're getting a little serious here. And then like what you just said, if women get involved, this man might lose his job.
See, they'll come in and tell her, don't give in. Don't drop the charges. That's what I'm.
Moving on, Mike Leach, the head basketball coach at family. Mike Leach is the head football coach at Mississippi State. He got in the hospital about a week ago. He was put in the hospital. I didn't know his injuries and what it was for, but the severity of it. But I just found out yesterday it was a heart attack, and then found out today, or I guess overnight, he died.
Yes, he passes at 61 years old.
Did you have opportunity to meet him?
Yep, when they came through here. You know, you can always meet a lot of them through here. I respected him as a coach. He was always kind to the media. He answered your questions, etc. He even did a little laughing and
right. They say he was a jokester.
Yeah, he do all
Tried
that.
to tell corny jokes,
all that, and wait for you to laugh.
Wait for you to laugh.
Yeah. And he wasn't Eddie Murphy or something.
No, that's what I'm saying. He had to give you a cue. You you finished?
He was not a Mike Epps and all those kind of people. So you wait for the joke. So, but my deepest sympathy goes out to he touched a lot of people in this area. So. He has a lot of friends here, coaching friends. People played for him. So my deepest sympathy goes out for them and the family of Mike Leach. Okay, moving on. Now we're going to hit base on something that you and I love. Family, you know, I always bring up the fact that back in the day, I played baseball at Texas Southern. So that's you didn't just play. Tell the people the truth. You played excellent baseball. You're trying to be modest, but you were better than average.
Well, Ralph, the check is in the mail, and I really appreciate you. Yeah, I was better than average. Okay, I started as a freshman, Ralph.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You're better than average.
And for the family to know, baseball back then in the 70s is not like it is now, 60s and 70s.
No.
That was the game when I was coming up, baseball and football. Now, football was close, but baseball was what people did. Right. And you had all the top name of the most impressive black athletes. Most of them were playing baseball. Even if they played football, they still came out to the baseball field. Came out to the baseball. Love to play it. Yeah, love to play it. Okay, now moving on, we're going to go to the state football. Oh, before I get away from baseball, Ralph, let's talk about HBCU, the Cactus Jack HBCU Classic. And let the family know who's putting that on for us here in Houston. The Astros and you just said Cactus Jack Foundation is also involved, and you've got historically black schools playing there. You got Prairie View, Texas Southern. Oh, you got it already. Go ahead. Yeah, some of them. Prairie View, Texas Southern. Jackson is in there also. Jackson, and, Southern University. All coming to Houston for this big event, and it will be played in Minute Maid Park. Now I'm gonna share something with you. They usually bring Texas A&M. They annually bring the white schools. Right. Colleges. But if it's cold outside, don't go down to that ballpark in your nice, lean, slick. Have a hoodie on or something. Take a jacket because the stadium is open. The stadium is always open. They will have the stadium open unless it's raining. Okay. The stadium. So if the weather's cold and you go down there with not the proper attire. Clothing, you're gonna be cold as you know what now. But that is really great that they're doing it. Oh, the Astro Foundation is involved. You got Paula Harris, who's with the Astro Foundation involved, and they're expecting a lot of people for sure. For this, and we need to show up
because they've had this in the past down there, but we didn't show.
Right.
They've had it in the past.
Oh, they've had a black college?
Yeah, they've had some, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Years
I
ago,
always
a couple
know
of
about
decades-
A&M, Texas,
No,
UH, and all them.
They had it a few years ago with Southern and Texas Southern and some down there.
Right.
But this is bigger because now you've got social media riding on it. We go back to, they didn't have social media. That's how far back it goes. But they've had it in Minute Maid Park.
Okay.
But this should be on another level.
Oh, yes,
Especially
yes.
with the Cactus Jack Foundation,
Right.
Astro Foundation involved, and they're going to try to get people to come.
It's going to be a round robin. It's going to be 3 games a day.
Right.
And they're going to make sure that all 6 teams play each other.
Yeah,
That's how it's going to go.
3-day event, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
You're right.
Yeah, right.
And then there's another one going on. Ken Griffey, the great Ken Griffey Jr. is putting on one in Seattle next year during the All-Star break. Major League Baseball All-Star, not break, but during the All-Star week.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Yeah.
And it's going to be some teams involved in that also. I tried to look it up to see what teams they were going to invite, but they didn't say.
Right, but that's
Do
big.
you have any idea? That's big.
No, I don't know. But that's big. If you've never been to Seattle before,
Right.
You would enjoy that trip. Just take a raincoat. It always rains in Seattle.
Right. Does it really? I heard that.
It rained. When I was there, it rained every day. Now, it made sunshine for a while.
That's what the client told me. They say that.
And
it's some type of drizzle always going on. They say.
But it's great for sightseeing. And if you don't like salmon, you're in the wrong place. But if you like
I love some
salmon,
salmon.
they do it all kind of ways.
Oh, okay. All right. And so now what we're going to go into is Major League Baseball. This is what I'm waiting on from Mr. Cooper. We lost Verlander. What's your thoughts? I'm gonna give you my thoughts out. What Verlander? What you think? Did you think the Astros made the right move?
Yes, I think the Astros made the right move. He goes to New York. He gets $86 million, and hopefully he does well there. But what he's going to miss, I thought the Astros, Dusty Baker, the pitching coach, etc., did the proper thing in regards to how they used him last year. In several occasions, he had a chance for no-hitters, but they had a pitch count on him or inning count or whatever. And they kept him healthy, and then rolled right into the World Series, utilized his talents, and won a championship. But they got the young pitchers, though. Yeah. The young guys are the Frambers, the Christian Javiers, and then you got Presley back. And I look for
Abreu, whatever his name is.
You got Abreu coming in.
Christian Javier, they got some arms, man.
And so they made Yuri Gurriel, he's a free agent, but they're probably going to
bring him back.
And then you've got Michael Brantley, who may be back if he's healthy. You got Kyle Tucker coming back. You got Bregman back. I mean,
we loaded.
And you got the
big first baseman from the Chicago White Sox. Yeah, Abreu. I think his name is Abreu too.
But then you got the Cuban wonder.
Oh yeah.
You got Alvarez back, and then you then you got the big man, the little big man from South America. Yeah. Jose Altuve. I mean, so we've got a great nucleus coming back, and I think they're going to find a way to fill that void. And then you notice they're doing this without a general manager now. The owner is acting as a general manager with different people giving him advice.
And so far, he hadn't made a bad move. I don't think. No. I'm glad he didn't give it up. He can use that money in another area. Right. Use that money in another area.
Yeah. He says he's going to get a general manager, but he's been Ian Scabell in that mix. Right. Yeah, he's down there in the front office, and he calls on him a lot of times too. And then he's got Jeff Bagwell, who's in that mix.
Now that's the rumor I've heard. Jeff Bagwell may become the general manager of the Houston Astros because he always includes him on things that they're talking and discussing. Right. Right. Okay, so I feel like they did the right thing, and you call off a person's name that I just love. That's Michael Brantley.
Oh yeah. Michael call him Uncle Mike. Call him Uncle Mike down there.
He is the ultimate professional to me, Ralph. He don't do this, no talking. He just picks up his bat and his glove and go out there and do his job.
And the other thing that he did during the playoffs and the World Series, you notice he was there. Although he couldn't play, he came to support his teammates. Right. So I mean, and he was the only African American player on the team. Right. And then you had and then we want to wish the best for Coach Pettis, Gary Pettis. Right. You know, he's battling cancer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He missed the World Series as
That's one of the black assistant coaches.
Third base coach.
Third base coach. Okay.
And then you got the man who loves oxtails.
What is that, rap?
Dusty Baker. He'll tell you.
I think Dusty Baker has family here in Houston.
Yeah, he got family. I remember when I first started, and I went to school with some of his people out in Sunnyside. They threatened me. I didn't go over there and interview Dusty Baker. They were going blank. But I was going to interview him anyway. They didn't know it.
Yeah.
I said, why don't you call him and let him know I'm gonna come down there and interview when I come to. And they did.
Okay.
Thank goodness. But yeah, he's got a lot of relatives here.
Oh man,
And he's in the wine business.
I think
also.
he's great for the Astros.
Right.
He's great for the city.
Right. He's in the wine business. Also. They got the Baker family wine.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they got 3 different. I was in a place where they were sampling it.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah.
You know, I know you. Where you from?
I'm from Waco, baby, Central Texas.
So you know wine.
Yeah. Okay.
Wine got a kick in it.
Yeah.
His wine has a kick.
Oh,
So
okay.
don't drink it when
Don't
you
drink
in,
it.
when you come in to do this show.
And you know what? I'm getting off cue for just for a second, family. When I started my show a year and a half or so ago, I made a statement about a guy named Master P.
Yeah.
Percy Miller.
Yeah.
He been doing this for over a year. He been trying to get young black rappers and athletes, have generational wealth.
Right.
He said, get stuff in. And you see all these rap potato chips and stuff like this.
Right.
That's Master P.
Right.
And Snoop,
Yeah.
Snoop Loops,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fruit Loops is so spread of that product, they
Right.
made him pull that off the shelf. You got loops in there. You can be Snoop whatever you want to, but you got to take the loops out. You got to take the loops out.
Yeah.
Take the loops off. And Snoop Dogg himself said that him and Master P, that they just afraid of the
Right.
competition.
Right.
He said, we're going to still get it done.
Right.
And so I was just saying how you're getting more people now, got wines. They into different type things that Master P been trying to get them to do for a year and a half.
Well, you look at you familiar with Burns Barbecue?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, Burns
Really?
Barbecue, one of the greatest baseball players in recent years is a family member of the Burns family, Carl Crawford. That was
okay. I know
Carl
Carl
Crawford's
from
grandfather,
before.
if I'm correct. That was his grandfather.
Okay.
And now you see what they're doing.
Right.
They're spreading all over the place. I'm talking about Burns Barbecue.
No.
They're in Kroger's all over Katy, off of north, off of Sam Wilson Road.
Is it completed packaged meat or what?
No. They actually come in and set up. They have an area where they come in. The barbecue is cooked on site out in Acres Homes. Well,
That's where they are. Deep
4-4.
freeze. They on deep freeze.
Yeah, on 4-4. But they bring the barbecue into the markets. They call it bistro, whatever. And they sell barbecue.
We get off air. You got to let me know, and family, I'll let you know later.
They're in several stores. The Kroger's in Pearland, Sam Wilson Road. On the north side, and then they're in the Katy area also.
Okay.
Then they offer Shepherd.
The reason why we're talking about this, there's some probably barbecue place where you guys are familiar with. Because as I tell my people, I don't have people just watch this show in Houston. I got people in California, Louisiana, all over Texas that watch this show. Family, Pennsylvania that watch this show. This is just like the best barbecue place, and wherever you are, that's what we're talking about when we say Burns. There are plenty others here, but I love some Burns barbecue.
And they're going into the potato chip business. Potato chips, and they got sauce.
What?
Yeah. They'll be coming out with I know you don't indulge, but they got a beer coming out of it.
They got a beer one coming out. And that's going to make them a whole bunch of money. All right, moving on, family. We're just about done. What are your thoughts on the electees for the Black College Hall of Fame for this year? Let me give them off to you. You got Leslie Frazier, Alcorn State, Henry Lawrence, FAMU, Albert Lewis, Grambling State, Jim Marcellus, Tennessee State, Tyrone McGriff, FAMU, Elijah Pitts, Philander Smith, Johnny Walters, Elizabeth City, and Coach Pete Richardson of Southern University in Winston-Salem. 5 of these guys I know played pro ball and were great. What do you think about that lineup?
I think that's a great lineup.
Oh,
We're going to
man.
always leave off some people every time, but that's a great group there. I can remember when Elijah Pitts played with the Green
Bay Packers. I did not know he went to Philander Smith.
Yeah, and he also coached with the Houston Oilers for a moment.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he coached here for a moment. So he's worthy. You got
Jim Marcellus, Tennessee State.
That's Lloyd Wells.
Right.
Lloyd Wells, the great scout, saw him years ago and
Right.
was talking about him before he got drafted by Kansas City. He became a great player, great defensive player, and he was a key part of those successful Kansas City Chiefs teams. Now you mentioned Albert Lewis,
Grambling State.
Okay, you mentioned Frazier, Leslie Frazier.
Alcorn State.
Okay, then there's another one down there on that list.
You got Johnny Walters. You got Tyrone McGriff. You got Albert Lewis. You got Henry Lawrence from FAMU.
Okay, several of them I saw them actually play. But I remember Leslie Frazier when he played
at Alcorn
State, yeah. And then he became a coach for a moment at Rice here in Houston.
Assistant coach.
Yeah, and now he's one of the premier defensive coaches in the NFL.
They gave him a little quick minute as the coach when he became interim coach.
Yeah, he wasn't that long.
He wasn't that long, but the head coach, but he's still been one.
Right.
And I just want to put this shout out.
Pete Richardson.
Right, Pete Richardson.
This is. He's still a key part of Southern right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Pete Richardson, when Southern started winning, he was the forcing behind family. Southern used to come to Texas Southern, and we played at Jefferson Stadium. And if you didn't get there early to get your seat, Southern was going to take their seats, and they were going to take their Southern seats also. Both sides of the field.
Mr. Womack is the broker and president and CEO of Womack Development Investment Realtors, a private minority-owned full-service commercial and residential real estate brokerage firm. Over the years, he has been known to be a respected community businessman and partner and has received many awards. Now, he sells real estate everywhere, but his specialty is right here in 3rd Ward. This guy can get it taken care of for you. Hello, family, and as usual, I'm back again, letting you guys know we need you to go to thatlarrypodcast.com and purchase yourself a t-shirt. We got hoodies, we got maroon and white, maroon and gray, red, white, blue. Go to thatlarrypodcast.com and get yourself a t-shirt to help support the program. It would be greatly appreciated. This right quick. Michael Holmes, Rookie Holmes, was one of the nominees, but he did not make it. I just want to let Mike know, just hang in there, my brother, you're going to be in there.
But he got some good news.
You got, what's that?
He's going into the Texas Black Sports Hall of Fame.
Okay, I didn't know that. Great, I brought that up.
I want to say in February or March when they have the festivities. It's up in Dallas. And you'll have more on it, and I'll have it on my program.
Okay.
We'll get but Mike Holmes has been selected to go into the Texas Black Sports Hall of Fame, and there are only a few people that are in there. Kenny Burrow is in there for one. Michael Irvin is in that Hall of Fame. Ray Crockett is in that Hall of Fame. Those are just a few off the top of my head that are in that Hall of Fame. And myself, so he's going into that Hall of Fame this coming the latter part of the winter, early spring.
All right, family, we're about to shut it down here, but I'm gonna go through this with him because this is something that I have been listening to this gentleman for about 10 or 12 years. How long were you and Coach Rice on doing that Pickens High School game?
We did that for about 25, 30 years before he passed.
And I'm talking about, I don't understand why you and Coach Rice didn't try to trademark that, syndicate it, or send it off or something. Because Coach Rice used to, you're going to choose the ponies. Guess what he called your high school? It was the word of coach. He said, you think the ponies going to win tonight?
Oh, yeah. Man, we had so much fun doing that. And it started off just with a regular interview.
Is that what it was?
He was still coaching at Aldine.
Aldine, sure was. Aldine High School. They won state 2-3 years ago.
And they were number one, remember?
Right.
They were number one
in the nation.
Yeah, in the nation at one time among the high schools. So, and he played in the first Super Bowl.
Yes, he did.
As a starter, as a rookie, in the first Super Bowl for the Chiefs.
For the Chiefs.
And he also,
matriculated to the Bears.
Right.
He matriculated to the
He
Bears.
was defensive captain of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati Bengals also.
But he came out of Texas Southern. You know how they found him, though?
How did they find him?
They went to Coach Durley and one of his assistants. They went to recruit his brother. So when they was in Hallettsville, Texas, so they're looking out on the field, and they're talking to his brother, but they're looking out on the field.
Coach Rice is killing them out there.
Picked up a old, what the thing when you
the thing that you push like that is when you the practice thing that you push.
It's a piece of farm equipment.
Oh, okay.
Steel that you hold the potatoes with and all that.
Let me get my producer. He's from the country. What did you ever heard of that?
He picked that device. They saw him pick that device up. they looking, talking to you. They look over there and see him pick this big piece of iron up. And you know what they did, though? Who is that? That's how they found him.
Really?
In the field picking up whatever. I can't think of the name.
Boy, that's one way to recruit. Now, did his brother come to TSU too?
I think his brother came, but his brother was not him.
Coach Rice, man, was tough.
Yeah,
Coach Rice was tough. Coach Rice was tough. He didn't play. Coach Rice didn't play.
Oh yeah, he made him and Winston Hill. You got all kind of stories. They made the Baltimore Colt football team, and they're on the plane back with Johnny Unitas, who was the premier quarterback. He was Joe Montana.
Of that era.
Tom Brady of his day.
Right.
So Andy, who loved to play cards for leisure, got into a card game with Johnny Unitas and took Johnny Unitas' money. So the coach this is a historical story. Weeb Eubank comes over to Andy, they're on the plane, and said, look here, son, why don't you give Johnny his money back? And you know Coach Wright. Oh, nothing back. And him and Winston Hill went to the Hall of Fame now.
Right, New York
They
Jets.
both got cut from the Baltimore Colts because Andy Rice wouldn't give Johnny Unitas his money back.
Yeah, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Talent went over.
Yeah.
The last thing we're gonna cover, family, right quick. I was gonna go over the NBA and NFL, but we pressed for time. State football, since Andy Rice, this is why I brought this up. Andy Rice, I'm not gonna be able to do it as good as Andy Rice and Ralph used to do it. Ralph, we're gonna pick Duncanville versus North Shore, and the coach from Duncanville already said the team saying we owe North Shore.
Yeah,
we owe North Shore. They done beat us 3 out of 4 years.
But the amazing thing about the North Shore program, they lose their starting quarterback early in the season. They continue to roll. And this is going to be a great, great game. Duncanville, in my opinion, should be the favorite. But I'm taking North Shore to win the game.
I'm taking North Shore too.
Right.
Duncan, it's going to go down to the wire, but
North Shore.
I'm taking North Shore too on that. Now in the small 6A, DeSoto playing Vandergrift. You familiar with Vandergrift?
Yeah, yes. Vandergrift
just out of San Antonio, Austin area.
They just beat Katy. They beat Katy last week on a field goal late in the game. So I'm picking in that game.
I'm going DeSoto. I ain't going to wait. I'm going DeSoto.
It's something about that Austin team, but I'm going to go with DeSoto in the game also.
You know, for about 2 years in a row, the only loss they had and they couldn't get past was Austin Westlake.
Right. And
Westlake went down to Division 1.
Yep.
And so now they got a chance to come in Division 2. Yeah. So they've been good for a while. Vanderbilt.
Right.
Vanderbilt, but they just couldn't get past Westlake and what's that other one?
It's another one up there. They always
Lake Travis. They couldn't get past them. Lake Travis and them. So I got DeSoto and you got Vanderbilt.
Right.
Okay. 5A Division 1, Aledo versus College Station. Aledo got too much history for me. I'm going with Aledo.
Yeah, they always come from behind. Now, this is an exceptional College Station team, but I go with Aledo also.
Yeah, I'm going with Aledo. 5A Small, Port Nature's Grove versus South, Dallas South Oak Cliff.
Now, this is the team coached by the Dallas South Oak Cliff team is coached by Jason Todd, who's a Texas Southern
grad.
Mm-hmm. They won last year.
Right.
He's also in the Texas Black Sports Hall of Fame also. They put him in because of what he accomplished as
last
a coach.
year. Yeah. That was the first Dallas ISD state championship in 40, 50 years.
Right. Well, they're right back there again. They've lost 2 games, I think, this season.
Mm-hmm. But they play 6A schools in preseason. They don't
play
lost to
Duncanville. I think
they lost to Duncanville. They don't play 5A schools in preseason.
So now they're in a game against a tough Port Neches team, but I'm picking Oak Cliff. I got to go with Oak Cliff.
I'm going with Oak Cliff too, but
it's a tough game. Port Neches Groves is tough.
It's tough. Well, they got history. When we went to go see Fort Bend, Missouri, Marshall play them 2 weeks ago, I was like, we walked to the game route 45 minutes in advance, and that side they was in purple was already filled. The stands was already filled. Right. And I was telling them, they said, man, who is Port Neches? I said, man, Port Neches Grove got history.
Right.
They used to win every year.
They had a running back in the day named Jeff Bergeron.
Right.
Run over people.
Yes.
White Earl Campbell.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. But they got history.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I'm still going with South.
Okay.
4A Division 1 China Spring out of Waco versus Bourne. So I'm going with China Spring.
I'm gonna take Bourne in that game.
Yeah, Bourne got good history.
Bourne shut out their last opponent, but I'm going to take Bourne.
Okay, now you know Shining Spring defending champ.
I know, but
Okay.
I'm taking Bourne.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
4A2 division,
Yes.
Carthage versus Wimberley.
And Wimberley beat Cuero last weekend,
Yeah.
who beat Silsby the week before.
Right.
But Carthage has moved up in regards to what they do also. They play the bigger schools too. I'm going to take Carthage.
I was just waiting on you to go with me. I'm going to Carthage. Carthage, they got them big cornfield guys out there, man. They played Waco La Vega about 3 years ago, and their offensive line averaged 6'3", about 260.
Right. You could,
A 6'8" offensive line.
Right. You could take, I saw Silsby and Cuero play. You could take those two teams and put them together, and in about a year, with the right coach, they would be competitive in the Southland Conference
What?
or the SWAC. That's how good these kids
Ain't
are.
that many D1 players?
There's a number of D1. I'm just saying they got that kind of, they
Talent,
got
they got-
D1 players.
they got
Yes.
D.
Yeah.
Okay, 3A1, we got Brock versus Franklin. Franklin's out of Central Texas by the
Right.
Bryan area.
Right.
But Brock got history. I see him
taking
in
Brock.
Austin all the time for basketball.
I'm taking Brock.
You taking Brock?
Great
I'm gonna take
athlete.
Broccoli too. I'm
Yeah,
gonna take Brock.
Brock.
Gunther, Ben Gunther.
Yeah.
No, that ain't Ben Gunther. This is Gunther, the city of Gunther. 3A.
Yeah.
Gunther playing Pope. I have no idea who these are, but I'm gonna go with Gunther. I've seen their name before.
Yeah, I'm going with Gunther. They're deep into the
Right,
playoffs
right,
and
right.
win a championship.
2A, we got Harley versus Refugio.
Refugio is from down South.
Caucus area.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They've got
I'm going
great
Refugio. Back in the day, they used to win all the time.
And they had great athletes. come
Yes,
out. You
sir.
have a Hall of Famer or two out of that area on that team.
I'm going with Refugio on that. And then you got Waco. Well, Mart is just outside of Waco. We got Mart versus Albany. And Mart go to state like they might have missed state one time in 10 years.
Yeah, but they're always around.
Yeah, so I'm
sniffing
going with
around.
Mart.
I'm going with Mart also.
Okay.
So it should be some great games.
Should be some great games. Ralph, I want to thank you.
I want to thank you, and I want to encourage people to check me out on KCOH 1230 AM
Yes.
radio. Ralph Cooper, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. Also Ralph Cooper on Facebook. But I also want you to share with my listeners
Okay.
how they can find you.
Okay. I want, if you guys pay attention to Ralph and listen to his show, you can always look me up on YouTube and Sports Talk with Fat Larry. Go to my website, sportstalkwithfatlarry.com, and purchase a t-shirt or a hoodie. And also sportstalkwithfatlarry@gmail.com if you have an idea that you'd like for me to talk about or discuss on the show. I always, a couple of my programs that I've had were from people writing me telling me, why don't we discuss this? Why don't we talk about that? So please hit me up on sportstalkwithfatlarry.com for the purchase of your t-shirts and hoodies. sportstalkwithfatlarry@gmail.com to let me know what you think.
How much are your hoodies? And we encourage all the Texas. This is a Texas Southern product. Played baseball at Texas Southern. Struggled in the classroom, but found a way to get the job done. And he's reaching out to you. But get his T-shirt. Get his hoodie.
He's not lying.
The maroon, right? Everything's maroon, right?
No, we got maroon, white, gray,
Okay.
blue. Get any different colors you want. Thank you, Ralph. We can get white, blue, gray, whole 9 yards.
You didn't struggle.
Yeah, I struggle. but I got out, right?
I want to mess with you. Okay. Congratulations. Thank you.
I got out,
Thank
but
you
I
for having me
struggle.
on.
All right, then. And once again, family, we want you guys, if you're in the vicinity, any HBCU game going on, basketball for the women, basketball for the men, go out and support your HBCU club because they all need the contributions that you can afford them. Until we meet again.
Do I get the lobster now? You said I'm getting a lobster.
No, you ain't getting no lobster, but
Thank you.
I'd like to thank you again.
Thank you.
And
See you later.
peace out, family.